Rama Hare Hare Jaya Radha Kalachandji Radha Kalachandji Radhe Jaya Radha Kalachandji Radha Kalachandji Radhe Jaya Radha Govind Radha Govind Shri Radhe Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jagannath Jaya Baladeva Jaya Subhadra Jagannath Swami Nayana Patagami Nayana Patagami Bhavatu me Jaya Gauranitai 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 Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Jaya Prabhupada 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jai Shri Shri Radha Kalachan Ji ki Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Chant the next mantra together. Narayanam namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet nashtaprayeshu bhadreshu nityam bhagavate sevaya Bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Hi Krishna, dear devotees. Today we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 2, Text 19, 1.2.19. So please open the text in your phones or in Srimad Bhagavatam. Please repeat after me. Tada rajastamo bhavaha Kamalobhadayascha ye Chetayeteravidham Sthitam Sattve Prasiddhati Tada Rajastamo Bhavaha Kamalobhadayascha ye Chetayeteravidham Sthitam Sattve Prasiddhati Tada Rajastamo Bhavaha Kamalobhadayascha ye Chetayeteravidham Sthitam Sattve Prasiddhati. Please recite. Tada Rajastamo Bhavaha Kamalobhadayascha ye Chetayeteravidham Sthitam Sattve Prasiddhati Tada Rajastamo Bhavaha Kamalobhadayascha ye Chetayeteravidham Sthitam Sattve Prasiddhati Tada Rajastamo Bhava Kamalobhadayascha ye Chetayeteravidham Sthitam Sattve Prasiddhati Tada Rajastamo Bhavaha Kamalobhadayascha ye Chetayeteravidham Sthitam Sattve Prasiddhati. Jai. My obeisances to all the kids and all of you. Jai. We'll read the word to one translation. We'll read this together. Tada, at that time, Rajaha in the mode of passion. Tamaha, the mode of ignorance. Bhavaha, the situation. Kama, lust and desire. Lobha, hankering. Adayaha, others. Cha, and. Ye, whatever they are. Chetaha, the mind. Etaha, by these. Anavidham, without being affected. Sthitam, being fixed. Sattve, in the mode of goodness. Prasiddhati, thus becomes fully satisfied. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. As soon as irrevocable loving service is established in the heart, the effects of nature's modes of passion and ignorance, such as lust, desire, and hankering, disappear from the heart. Then the devotee is established in goodness and he becomes completely happy. Purport. A living being in his normal constitutional position is fully satisfied in spiritual bliss. This state of existence is called Brahmabhuta or Atmanand, or the state of self-satisfaction. This self-satisfaction is not like the satisfaction of the inactive fool. The inactive fool is in the state of foolish ignorance, whereas the self-satisfied Atmanandi is transcendental to the material state of existence. This stage of perfection is attained as soon as one is fixed in irrevocable devotional service. Devotional service is not inactivity, but the unalloyed activity of the soul. The soul's activity becomes adulterated in contact with matter, and as such, the diseased activities are expressed in the form of lust, desire, hankering, inactivity, foolishness, and sleep. The effect of devotional service becomes manifest by complete elimination of these effects of passion and ignorance. The devotee is fixed at once in the mode of goodness, and he makes further progress to rise to the position of Vasudeva, or the state of unmixed sattva or Shuddha sattva. Only in this Shuddha sattva state can one always see Krishna face to face by dint of pure affection for the Lord. A devotee is always in the modes of unalloyed goodness. Therefore, he harms no one. But the non-devotee, however educated he may be, is always harmful. A devotee is neither foolish nor passionate. The harmful, foolish, and passionate cannot be devotees of the Lord. The harmful, foolish, and passionate cannot be devotees of the Lord. However, they may advertise themselves as devotees by outward dress. A devotee is always qualified with all the good qualities of God. Quantitatively, such qualifications may be different, but qualitatively, both the Lord and his devotees are one and the same. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeyaham Shri Guru Shri Yuda Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaitva Gatadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Desha Tarine. Namah Vishnu Padaya. So, this is a wonderful purport given by Srila Prabhupada, and very important for all of us because it reminds us that what a devotee should be like. It reminds us how sadhakas, like as practicing devotees, what are the instructions Srila Prabhupada has given to us. And one line that says in the translation and in the purport, this common theme that people often think, I mean in today's world, people often think that happiness usually comes from sense enjoyment. This is something mostly everybody is following. Even if they don't talk about it, they won't say it, that I am enjoying myself and that will make me happy. But sometimes people do, right? They say, okay, you have the right to be happy, so why don't you just enjoy? That's your right. That's like your human right. It's true that our nature is to be happy. That part is true. We are meant to be in bliss. We are meant to experience happiness all the time because that is our natural state, which means that is the natural state of the soul, to always be happy. But the method through which we are trying to become happy has become perverted in this world. Srila Prabhupada says that the only way a soul can be in pure bliss, in pure ecstasy, in unalloyed happiness, which is pure happiness, can only be when we are practicing pure devotional service, when we are rendering devotional service to the Lord. And what we recite every day, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, which means that daily we need to serve the book Bhagavat and the person Bhagavat, which means that Srimad Bhagavatam, which is compiled by Vyasadeva, which is Krishna himself in literary form, Krishna in the form of book, that is worshipable because the instructions are absolute. The instructions are perfect for our success. And when we start following these instructions, when we start following Srimad Bhagavatam, we also need to realize that it actually gives us the instructions to follow and to serve a person Bhagavat, which means somebody who is living the life of a pure devotee, a pure Vaishnava, who is living the life following all the perfect instructions given by the Lord. So it's really important, you all come every day, listen to Bhagavatam. This is the service that you're doing by hearing. So how we serve the book Bhagavat is by hearing it, by Shravanam. And that's how our faith develops, by the act of discipline, listening daily, which is the discipline that you're following. And when you start hearing, your consciousness is getting purified. Because when you hear the amazing pastimes, some desires come inside you. Like, I wish I could serve the Lord. I wish one day I can have surrender like Kunti Maharani, like Draupadi. Maybe one day I can have faith like Prahlad Maharaj. Maybe one day I can have love like all these devotees. But as and when you keep progressing, the mood becomes, maybe one day I can serve these devotees who have these loving devotional towards the Lord. I want to serve the devotees rather than serving the Lord directly. I want to serve these devotees. I want to be able to render some kind of service. And so the great news is that we are always surrounded by devotees in Kalachandji Dham. We have devotees around us. And service is an opportunity which we have 24/7. So Prabhupada made that point that our nature is not to be inactive. An inactive fool, this inactivity is not the nature of the soul. A person who thinks that being inactive and just sitting and meditating and following a light and just meditating and sitting, yes, that will eventually, after maybe if you get some mercy and you get to the path of devotional service, eventually you might be able to get on this path. But inactivity is not the nature of the soul. So, to be in Shuddha Sattva and to serve the Lord, that automatically makes us happy. If you want to be happy, that's your key. That's the golden key, to serve the Lord and to serve the devotees. So this summarizes entire Vedic literature. We have 108 Purans. We have so many scriptures, 4 kind of Vedas. We have Srimad Bhagavatam, we have Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita are the topmost scriptures. Because when Vyasadeva wrote all the scriptures, he wrote everything, and still he was not satisfied. So this is the living proof. Like, this is the proof in front of us, that he wrote everything. Rig Ved, Sam Ved, Yajur Ved, Athar Ved. He wrote Upanishads, 108 Upanishads. He wrote everything. And still he was not satisfied. And when then his guru came, his spiritual master, Narad Muni, he said, you're not satisfied because you have not given the main instruction. You have not given the main, let's say, the main ingredient. And that is talking about devotees, talking about the devotional process, pure devotional process. Because that is what will give you satisfaction. And Vyasadeva, when he gave these instructions, when he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam, that's when he was satisfied. So one part we covered, we understood that our nature is to be happy, but the process that people are following, sometimes we are also following, which is sense enjoyment, is not going to make us happy. So, if you want to be happy, the answer is serving devotees and serving the Lord. And when you do that, so devotional service is basically your highest ladder, which is Bhakti Yoga. You remember we talked about the yoga ladder. There is below is Karm Kand, then Karm Yoga, then Jnana Yoga, Ashtang Yoga, and then topmost is Bhakti Yoga. So when one practices Bhakti Yoga, you automatically have everything. Now what do I mean by everything? You automatically get knowledge and you become detached. Gyan and Vairagya are like sons of Bhakti. So you don't have to individually try to achieve everything and then reach Bhakti Yoga, because we don't have that much time, first of all. And it's not guaranteed that if you have Gyan, you can get Bhakti. It's not guaranteed. But if you have pure Bhakti, pure devotional service, pure devotion towards the Lord, you automatically are in knowledge. You automatically are detached. So when we've heard of this pastime, right? When Krishna sent Uddhav to Braj to talk to his parents, talk to the gopis, to his friends who were all waiting, who were burning in the separation with Krishna, from Krishna. And Uddhav went like, yeah, let me give them the gyan, the knowledge that you're the Supreme Lord. Why are you crying? He's Lord. He's there in your heart, and you just do. You're in knowledge, and person who is in knowledge shouldn't be crying, should not be lamenting. That's what Gyanis say, right? And then he went to Nand Baba, he went to Yashoda Maya, he went to the gopis, and first when they saw Uddhav, they thought he's Krishna, because Uddhav was Krishna's cousin and he resembled a lot to Krishna. And all of them were so happy when they saw Uddhav coming on a chariot. They thought somebody from Mathura is coming, and who could it be? Maybe Krishna is back. Krishna said he would come back. Maybe he's back. Finally that day has come. But then they saw it's not Krishna. So every day, they have this hope that Krishna will come back. But every day they get heartbroken. Imagine, do we have that kind of desire that, oh, I'm going to meet Kalachandji right now. I'm going to have darshan. I'm going to see Kalachandji. But we don't have that, right? We come, we see, sometimes, you all know what your mood would be. Do we have that burning desire when we come in front of the deities and we see that Krishna, I am so glad that I can see you. I'm so glad that I can have your darshan. I'm so glad that I can make garland for you. I can sing kirtan for you. Krishna is actually standing in front of us. He's there. It's so wonderful, right? That he's there in front of you. He's there in your heart. He's there in everything around you. The one thing that I really love about so many things, but one thing, the other day, I think Jai Gaurang Prabhu gave this amazing class when he asked all of you, what is it that you love about Krishna consciousness? I really loved that, that interaction. And I was thinking, what do I love about Krishna consciousness? And I was like, the fact that God is a personality is what I love. It's no light, it's no sound that I have to imagine and I have to see, okay, I have to do the effort of just, meditating and, or maybe something or something, but he's a personality who I can have feelings for, who I can think about, who I can hear so many pastimes about. Krishna has given so many flavors and everybody answered such amazing things. Somebody said they love the rasa Krishna gives. Somebody said they love the devotees about Krishna consciousness. They love to hear pastimes. They love the stories. So many things people said. Somebody said they love to recite the shlokas. So this is a proof. We don't have to wait for somebody to convince us, but ask ourselves that, am I feeling connected to this process? And why am I hooked on to this? Because we all are. We all are addicted to the process. Of course, there is much more scope that we need to dive so much deeper into this depth of love that we can experience towards Srimati Radharani, towards Sri Krishna, towards Gaur Nitai, because through Gaur Nitai only we can get blessings of experiencing love towards Krishna. So when Uddhav talked to the gopis and he gave so much gyan, so much knowledge, and the gopis, he thought that they are just cowherd girls, they are just, village girls. I'll just give them some nice knowledge, gyan. They really need it. They've not been to Gurukul, they've not been to some school. Let me go and preach them. Sometimes we go in that preaching mood, like, let me go and preach these ignorant people. What to see that he himself became a devotee. He started practicing bhakti yoga. When he saw what the gopis said, when he saw their love, this is like another like deep pastime. One whole day can go in talking about this exchange that happened between Uddhav and the gopis. But the point is that bhakti automatically puts you in highest knowledge, because this is the highest knowledge, that you have a relationship with the Lord and you are the servant of the Lord. And this is your eternal service, to always love him, to always serve him. We keep saying, right, we have to keep serving Krishna, but it's not a duty. When you love somebody, you would automatically want to serve them. You would want to, you make nice offerings for your children, you make nice arrangements for your family, for your loved ones, for your friend whose birthday might be coming. We do all those things. Why? Because there is love. But after a point, because you're in this material body, it becomes adulterated. When this line that came, that when soul comes in interaction with matter, it becomes adulterated. So how can we, now this is a question we can ask ourselves, that how can we always be in this Shuddha Sattva, which is pure goodness? How can we always be in this mood? At least, how can we start being in this mood? And so this kama and lobha and being in rajas and tamas, which is in mode of passion and ignorance, we can only overcome when we start practicing bhakti yoga, when we start practicing devotional service. That's what I said. Topmost bhakti yoga. You automatically get gyan, you automatically get vairagya, you automatically get overcome passion and ignorance. Automatically. And one more point that came in this purport was, a pure devotee has good qualities. A devotee is always qualified with all the good qualities of God. So qualitatively he's same as Krishna. It's a big statement, but scriptures don't lie. And pure, we're talking about pure devotees. Prabhupada also points out not somebody who is just dressed as a devotee. So we wear tilak, we wear kanthi, tulsi mala, we wear nice Vaishnava attire. That does not make us a devotee. Somebody said once that you can become a devotee in just 500 rupees. Like you can get a whole attire in 1,000 rupees, or few dollars. You can buy a nice Vaishnava dress, be a nice get up. So it's not a fancy dress competition, right? You're not getting ready every day to look good or to look like a devotee. But we really want to work on our character. We want to be sincere in what we are doing. Because it's very easy to become a hypocrite, because this is the age of hypocrisy. Quarrel and hypocrisy. Every word is so true, right? From our scriptures, quarrel. Kalyug is the age of quarrel and hypocrisy. We're always quarreling, fighting with people. We might not be doing it verbally, physically, externally, but internally, we are always in disagreement with somebody. What to speak of others? We are always quarreling with our own mind. I don't have enough money. I am not satisfied. Maybe I'm not that beautiful. Maybe I don't have nice kids. Don't listen to me. I don't have a nice partner who respects me. I don't have a great career. I wish I could make more money. I wish I could show the world I am such a special person. I am so unique. I want people to believe in me. So all these quarrels are going with our mind. Everything is fine out there, but inside we are making up stories. We're having judgments that is making things very difficult for us. And hypocrisy. Inside, so much is going on. Outside, we are like, Hare Krishna, Dhanut Pranam. I respect you so much. But yes, sometimes we have to do that, because if we are too brutally honest, sometimes it might be just like we have to fake it till you make it. But the point being that are we checking our mood? Are we checking our intention? We might make mistakes, we might make offenses, but we want to learn from them. We want to learn that I want to become sincere. I'm full of faults, that's okay. We all are full of faults, fallacies. We have our drawbacks, but that's not the bad point. That's not what makes you less of who you are. But if you are sincere, if you're transparent, that's a very difficult thing to do. Like Prabhupada says, it's simple, but it's not easy. So bhakti is simple. Like there is no quantum physics. It is so simple, right? You just have to do things with your heart. But it's not easy because you have to do with your heart. Right now we're doing everything with our mind, which is so corrupted, which is so influenced and under the modes of material nature. We're always in rajas and tamas, passion and ignorance. So we easily get agitated. People say something to me, I will like, oh God, how can this person talk to me like this? Is she a devotee? We'll think like that. But am I thinking about, okay, this person said this. I see like, I don't like it. You identify it. You identify. It's not to say we have to become hypocrite by, like, we are not there yet where we say, okay, things happen, people say, you identify something, you're feeling something, but then you use the knowledge from the scriptures to deal with your emotions. So you don't have to suppress the feelings that you get when situations happen and you feel something. Either you have felt offended, you have felt angry, you have felt hurt. Identify that. And then you deal with that emotion. Because that's how you will grow. So devotee has all the amazing qualities. I want to read this article by His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj. It's very short. In a talk on Srimad Bhagavatam on May 30th, 1972 in Los Angeles, so Giriraj Maharaj is saying this, Srila Prabhupada spoke about the qualities of a devotee, and I was struck by the following. So Maharaj is quoting Prabhupada. A devotee is sympathetic and friendly. Sympathetic. We should be very sympathetic. If some of our fellow men fall sick, we must take care of them, give help to them. Because after all, we have got this body, sometimes we may fall sick. So we should be sympathetic and friendly. Everyone's friend. As Krishna is friend of everyone, Suhridam Sarva Bhutanam. So if we are Krishna's representative, how can I be enemy of anyone? I must be friendly. Second, a devotee is grave. Grave means doesn't talk nonsense. Don't talk nonsense. Don't waste time. If you have got time, chant Hare Krishna. But don't talk nonsense. That is called gravity. Grave. So when we say be grave, it's not like be serious all the time, but it means don't talk nonsense. Something which is not Krishna, related to Krishna consciousness, we shouldn't waste our time doing that, because that's impacting our consciousness. A devotee is satisfied and surrendered to Krishna. Satisfied in any condition. Not that I must have all these things, then I'll be satisfied. Otherwise, I'm going from the temple. No. This is not Vaishnav qualification. You must live with the devotees even if you're not satisfied. I loved this line because it helps all of us since we are all living in a community. You must live with the devotees even if you're not satisfied. In any condition, you should be satisfied. Because as soon as you leave the company, you become again rogues, again demons. At least you'll be saved if you keep the company of the devotees. Satam prasangam mama virya samvidaha. If you give up their company, then you again become rogues and demons. Therefore, you must be satisfied in whatever condition. Whatever Krishna has given, that's all right. And surrendered to Krishna. The satisfaction can be achieved only when one is fully surrendered to Krishna. If I have surrendered to Krishna, Krishna has taken my charge. Krishna says, Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshashami. Then why shall I bother myself? See, it's an important point. I mean, if Krishna is taking care of everything, I know he is, then why should I bother myself? Why should I do the effort of, oh, what will happen now? Oh, okay, this person has done this. Now I should also come back with a comeback. I should also do this. Leave it to Krishna. Why should I bother myself? If I am thinking I am suffering, it is also Krishna's grace. We should talk like that. We should take it like that. Even if in my consideration I am in a position which is apparently suffering, we must accept it as Krishna's grace. All right, I have surrendered to Krishna. If Krishna is giving me suffering, that's all right. That is surrender. Oh, I have surrendered to Krishna and now Krishna is giving me suffering. Oh, leave Krishna consciousness. That is not surrender. Surrender means in any condition you'll remain surrendered. That is surrender. Not that I put my own condition and if you satisfy me, then I shall. That is business. That is not surrender. Surrender means in any condition, fully surrender to Krishna. I like how Srila Prabhupada repeats one point in different sentences, but he makes this point because it's hard for us to understand in one line. It has to be, keep going through our buddhi to be able to understand that I need to surrender to Krishna. Just like a baby who's crossing the road, he's holding the hand of his father. It's just least bothered. Like I should even look at the cars. Like I might be just in my own world. My dad is there. Even if I'm dancing on the road, my dad will grab me, pick me up, or just hold my hand. Will not let anything happen to me. We have to be childlike. Not childish, but childlike. Because a child is very innocent. We have these 4 amazing kids sitting in front of us. The moment you look at them, you'll feel the innocence. What to speak of a devotee? It happens, right? When you meet a pure devotee, you will feel the power. You will feel their purity because they're just transparent. I can think of so many great devotees. When you meet them, I asked actually this to somebody who was visiting from Chapati temple. And I was like, Prabhuji, I had the fortune of actually asking him something. And I feel like when I meet you or somebody who's so senior, you can just, it's like you just hear them talk and all your questions are answered. You don't even have to ask a question. You're just like, oh my God, Krishna consciousness is so beautiful. This is how a devotee is. Wow, I want to become a devotee like that. That's the kind of desire that actually starts coming inside you. No matter you would have been the worst mood that day, you would have had a fight, or you were just low, or you're just not feeling a lot of taste in Krishna consciousness. But you meet a pure Bhagavat, a pure devotee, and it's like wildfire. That's why Prabhupada keeps saying, don't leave devotees. Don't leave the association of devotees. So when you're serving the Lord, you must do it in association of devotees. That's very important. So yes, I think I will pause here. If there's anything that I missed from this purport, or any additions, any corrections, any questions, please feel free to ask. Hare Krishna. Yes, Prabhuji. Do we have a mic? I'll repeat your question after. Mm-hmm. So I'm repeating the question for the online listeners. So Dharma Prabhu is asking that, like we said, we need to serve devotees, but for pure devotional service, we need to serve the devotees. But who are these devotees that we have to serve? So when we hear about these characteristics, that a devotee is humble, a devotee is magnanimous, he's mild, he's always clean, he's always surrendered, satisfied. So you can all read these qualities in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. You can read in Nectar of Devotion. They're amazing qualities. But these are the qualities that I need to work on, but I don't have to judge others if they have these qualities or not. Like, for example, when we try to see that who is this devotee I need to serve, this is Uttamadhikari or Kanishkadhikari, first class or third class. I should not make that judgment. I can serve any devotee. I can serve even somebody who has spoken the name of Krishna, or somebody who is not even a devotee. I should serve that person, because Krishna is there within everybody's heart. So my mode of service should not be, what I feel is my mode of service should not segregate between, okay, this devotee comes for Mangalarti, is there for chanting, I need to serve and respect this person more than somebody who doesn't come for Mangalarti. I see them only in Sunday feast. No. I can serve this person because this person is sent to me by Krishna. So I can serve everybody. But yes, we also serve mostly, we make sure that we also get the opportunity to serve very, very exalted devotees. And it's said in our scriptures, we need to serve the devotees, but we don't need to make the discrimination of who to serve and who not to serve, is my understanding. Because Krishna has time and again said, even as when he came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that I am the servant of my servant of my servant of my servant. So which means with that kind of dasa anudas bhav, I need to serve the lowest. I need to serve the servant of the servant of the servant. So Krishna's servant and their servant and their servant. Which means, because that makes me humble. That will make me humble. So, yeah, that's what I think. How did I determine who my spiritual master was? By understanding who a guru should be, which Prabhupada time and again has told in his lectures, and it's there in Srimad Bhagavatam, the qualities of a guru, who has all the transcendental knowledge, who has all the knowledge from the scriptures and considers himself to be the servant, not God, and who is bona fide in the disciplic succession. The first thing is very important, that when we are looking for a guru, is that that person lies in disciplic succession, which means in the parampara. The parampara starts from Krishna to Brahma, to Narad Muni, and so on, and then comes to Srila Prabhupada. Now, why is this disciplic succession so important? Because the knowledge is coming as it is. It is not adulterated. It's pure. It is coming through all the spiritual teachers. And when it comes, when you learn something, you whenever you want to learn something, you learn from the bona fide source. So it's very important that for us in the disciplic succession, Srila Prabhupada, who established our International Society for Krishna Consciousness, has had initiated so many disciples, so many who became gurus. So somebody who falls, this is the main qualification, somebody who is in the parampara. Which means because they are always checked by Shastra. ISKCON is a community where everything is getting checked. What you speak on Vyasasana, what you're following, it's getting checked. Why? Because you have devotees around you, you have GBC, you have everything who checks the sadhu, guru and Shastra, that you're following these three things. So a pure devotee would be somebody who we can follow, is somebody who follows our Vedic scriptures. A guru should also have a guru. That's also a very important thing. You meet somebody, nowadays there are very new gurus, trending gurus we have. On YouTube, don't search, you'll get to know. There's so many newborn gurus. And they'll say, yeah, I started this. But a real guru would be who has a teacher above them. Why? Because a guru is always a student. So if you're not a student, then you're just creating philosophy, your own philosophy. So Guru, Sadhu, Shastra is very important. And we've read Nectar of Instruction. So the first instruction, I don't remember the words, maybe some of you do, but it says that the translation is that somebody who has curbed all the desires to enjoy, the tongue, the genitals, the anger, has curbed all of this and is eligible to make disciples. That person is a guru. So that is my understanding of this. Thank you. Thank you, Prabhuji. Any question? Or anybody who wants to add? Yes, Mataji. Sure. Yes. Thank you for that. We are safe because yes, Srila Prabhupada is the guiding light and all our spiritual masters, they are surrendered to Srila Prabhupada. So just one step, you don't even need to go so far that, I need to be surrendered to Krishna. But if you're there, great. But even if you're surrendered to your spiritual master or the acharyas, teachings of Srila Prabhupada, you've understood it. That's a great message for all of us. That's a great point, that just being surrendered to these teachings, it's a start. It's also the process and the destination. It's the journey and the destination, right? So Bhakti Yoga is like that. Somebody thinks, if I practice devotional service, what am I going to get? More devotional service. That's the thing. This is the process and also the destination. So anything we are doing this is happening in Golok, Vrindavan. This is happening in the abode where Krishna lives. Where, yes, devotees are making garlands for Krishna. They are arranging nikunjas, the spots where Srimati Radharani and Krishna does pastimes. They are cutting fruits. So all Ashtasakhis, the main. So we know there are so many gopis, but prime gopis are 108, and among them the 8 gopis who are always near Srimati Radharani and assisting them in their pastimes. So one of the gopi holds, like if you see in Mayapur, Shishi, Radha Madhav and Ashtasakhi, each gopi has, a box and a basket. Somebody is holding fruits. Somebody is actually holding all the mouth fresheners like cardamom, clove, all these things. And one day I was very intrigued. Like I heard what all they are, what's there. It's actually there. The dressers actually put those things in their little handbag, little purse, because that's the mood. That's how us to. So we want to be able to serve devotees. That is, our life is successful. We don't need to directly go to Krishna, because when Krishna showed, even though Krishna showed Virat Roop to Arjun, Arjun got scared because we can't handle so much awe and reverence. And he said, Krishna, please come back in the mood of like, be my friend again. Like my cousin. I used to see you like that. And he came back in that mood. So, Krishna consciousness is very beautiful. And this Srimad Bhagavatam comes with one shloka. So many points come, right? So quality of a devotee, I really stress on this point, because I feel that this is something we all can work on ourselves. In my spiritual master also says, Srila Prabhupada, because he repeats what Srila Prabhupada says, that a devotee must has a first class character. First class, not second class, third class. We are not even 10th class right now. We need to be first class. We need to be sincere. We need to be generous. We need to be honest. This is natural state of a soul. But because we have come in this material world, in this material body, it has become contaminated. We've started lying. We've started being hypocrites. We've started showing, oh, I am better than you because I'm wearing better clothes. I have a better job. I have better services. This thing should not come in. This will destroy our bhakti. So our character is something we have in our control, which means this is something we can work on. And it automatically, it will also happen by itself when you advance in bhakti, but you also need to take some responsibility, accountability for your behavior. As devotees especially, we need to take accountability of what we are saying, how we look at somebody. Are we rolling eyes and are we ignoring when a devotee passes by, or we actually just greet them nicely? So Krishna consciousness makes you perfect person, really. Last thing I will say, don't know any names, but I heard this, so I'm going to, because it's relevant, so I'm going to say, once some foreigner came to temple, I think His Holiness Swayam Keshav Swami Maharaj, S.B. Keshav Swami Maharaj narrated this past time, that there was a very nice devotee who lived in Bhaktivedanta manor, and he passed away, and maybe old age or something. And some new person came and they said that I want to follow what you guys are following. And they were very surprised, like, why? She said, I don't know what you're doing, what you Hare Krishnas are doing, but I knew this guy who died, this devotee. And he was such a wonderful gentleman. He was so nice, always met so nicely, did so much for me, and just was always so pleasant and welcoming. Everything that I really appreciated from the bottom of my heart. And so I don't know what you guys do, but whatever this guy was doing, I want to do that. So somebody was so immediately became surrendered just by seeing the character of a devotee. So this is our responsibility. We are like, like army guys have a responsibility because they're wearing the uniform. So we are also in Krishna consciousness. Now we are in it. Okay. We can't get out. This is a uniform. And we need to do justice to it. Anybody who sees us, preaching can be in many ways, direct and indirect. So being nice to somebody is the minimum that we can do. Being kind. So this is very important as a character. Yes, Madhuri. Yeah, that's a very relatable question. I'll just repeat. So I made a point that character is in our control. So Mataji is asking this question that it seems contradictory because there are times we are in a situation and we know it's wrong, we get angry and we react in a way which we theoretically know it's wrong. So but we're not able to control that. So it kind of says that character is not in our control. So how do we deal with it, right? That's your question. Yes, that's also true. I also have been so many times in these situations, and Arjun, in fact, asks this very same question to Krishna: that why are there times that I don't want to do something, and Krishna, it seems like I'm compelled to react in that way. And that's the answer that was given was that it's because of the modes of material nature. We're always under passion and ignorance, and we react because the anarthas also, like you said yourself, that there is so much lust and there's so much anger within us, all the 6 anarthas that we have. So these two things, that the unwanted weeds that are growing inside us, the anarthas, matsarya, lobh, all these, and the modes of material nature. So it's like we're sandwiched. Like, there's anarthas also, and then there is passion and ignorance also. So where does the poor soul go? Like, how do we react in that situation? And so the only way, because modes of material nature is very strong, because Maya is doing her service very nicely. We are the puppets, and she's doing it perfect job. That's her service, by the way. That's why being in this is a jail. And because we are part of it, we have to bear the consequences. And the only force that can help us transcend these 3 modes of nature is, the answer, it's pure devotional service. So we know this theoretically, right? But yes, if, it's said that, like, how do I explain this? But if you can't change a situation, you can influence it. So in psychology, there is this thing called circle of concern and control. So it says there is one aspect, I think you know this also, we've talked about it, that there are some things that are in our control, which is mostly how do I behave. It is in our control. Like, how do I talk to this person? And for example, when COVID pandemic was there, it's not in my control. So there are 2 things: in control, out of control. What is not in my control? That if I get a disease, if I get COVID positive, tested positive or not, that's not in my control. But in my control is isolation, not going out, wearing a mask when interacting with others, etc. And then these 2 circles overlap, like in a Venn diagram. If there are things that I can do which are in my control, I can influence the things that are not in my control. So for example, taking precaution during pandemic might influence me not getting COVID. This is an example that I'm giving. So if I don't want to react in a certain way in provocative situations, I need to sweat. Like, I need to work really hard when I'm not in provocative situations, which will improve my character and eventually make me strong to fight the battle when I am in. It's a consistent effort. So maybe Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, right? The one who plays the game. Chaitanya Charan or Chaitanya Hari? Chaitanya Charan Prabhu says this thing: the more you sweat in peace, the more you fight, sweat outside the battlefield, the less you will bleed on the battlefield. Which means the more prepared you are, the more you practice when you're in good state. You're practicing your bhakti, your sadhana. Why is sadhana important? It's not that every morning somebody is attacking me, but why every day morning I'm coming and chanting? Because it's preparing it's strengthening my consciousness. If I'm chanting nicely. Now that's also terms and conditions. If I'm chanting nicely, it is preparing me. You don't know what wonders it is doing for you. How much it is preparing you. It's fighting against Maya. So those 2 hours, you're sweating in. Why we are calling it sweating? You're working hard. You have battled Nidra Devi. You have woken up. You have taken shower in these winters, and you came to temple knowing how sometimes the situation is unsafe, and you're walking all the way here. All that effort you're doing is your tapas, is your austerity. Chanting and every day doing it, at least most of the times if you're able to do it, that's you preparing for the battle. And yes, eventually we will transcend these modes of passion and ignorance. We will. That's why the trust is important. Krishna will give you that buddhi and surrender. So because it happens rarely, but it will, that you will also feel surprised that usually you get angry in certain situation, but maybe one out of 10 times, today you're not getting angry. But give credit to Krishna for that. That's also important, because that will show your humility and surrender. And then Krishna will engage more in your, that means you have not surrendered to mind, but to Krishna. And then Krishna will control it. Krishna will make you happy. And that's when this purport gets, proved that a soul who's practicing Krishna consciousness will become happy. So this might answer your question that yes, if you're really practicing every day, you're doing all these things, and then Krishna makes you happy, satisfied, and then you are not provocated in provocative situations. You are just like, okay, I can deal with it. Yeah. Yeah. Bleed in war. Yeah. I heard it somewhere, and that's why it's stuck with. It's so nice that, and maybe hopefully you can repeat it to somebody so that it gets stuck in your head. Yeah. So yeah. Yeah. It's doable. It's possible someday that in the moment we're able to fight it. Yeah. Thank you for that question. I hope it helped. I hope so. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, that's a wonderful point, that we see pure devotees, right? If they are in this situation, they don't react like us, which means it's possible. Like, it's there. It can happen. Maybe I'm not there yet. I have a long journey to be there. But at least if I see something happening, it means that even in material world, it is possible. That's a wonderful point. Yes. And yeah, we are sandwiched, but that's why this point, right, where Prabhupada says, serve pure devotees also. Like, serve everybody, but serve pure devotees. Because also I heard this, when you serve pure devotees, you get their qualities. I mean, this is such a magic, right? You serve somebody. So if you want some great, it's also like, I'm like, okay, if you want a great quality, you serve somebody, but it shouldn't work like that. But you serve someone, and through their mercy, you get their qualities. And it's there because this is what we call exposure therapy. I'm sorry, I'm saying these things, but why I'm saying is because even psychology is coming from scriptures. That's my point. So exposure therapy is when somebody who has obsessive compulsive disorder, OCD, like we casually use these terms, but it's very clinical. So much so that there's giving a case study, like there was a person who kept washing his hands because he felt like his hands are getting dirty, even if he's not doing anything, kept washing. So much so that the skin starts used to peel off. It's real. And the therapist, he was talking to a therapist, and during his sessions, he had this urge to wash his hands. And the therapist said, okay, you're going to sit here and you will not wash your hands for next 1 minute. That was like a big thing for that person. But somehow he got through it. And that's when the therapist said that, see, what you thought was the worst, nothing happened, right? Like you endured it. 1 minute, 60 seconds, nothing happened. Which means it broke your belief that, okay, if something will happen if I don't wash my hands, I need to just quickly go ahead and rinse it off me. But it didn't happen. You didn't get the consequence that you were expecting. So that was an exposure therapy, which means you are exposed to a situation you thought, oh, it doesn't exist. So when you are exposed to or being around pure devotees who have qualities that you dream of, but you think, oh, it's not possible, but you're living around them, you're serving them, it becomes possible. And you see, like, okay, it can happen, and I need to follow what they're following. I need to follow this process nicely. And that's why many people who used to take drugs, who used to take LSD, who used to be not wearing nice, decent clothes and everything, just in 1 moment surrendered to Srila Prabhupada. Why? Of course, Prabhupada's purity was the force, Prabhupada's mercy, but also, as a common man, if I think, like, how is this guy so happy? I want to be happy, but I'm doing everything, but I'm not getting happy. I'm getting high, but I'm not getting happy. But this guy is so happy and so peaceful, I want to do this. So when you see somebody who already is in a state, what you want to practice, you surrender to that devotee. So you know what qualities you